Here with us now, Jonathan Turley, Fox News contributor, GW University law professor. Jonathan, I want to play part of the moment from 2017 that may be at the center of all this. Watch.
Have you ever been an anonymous source in news reports about matters relating to the Trump investigation or the Clinton investigation?
Never.
Have you ever authorized someone else at the FBI to be an anonymous source in news reports about the Trump investigation or the Clinton investigation?
No.
Professor Turley, what are your thoughts after looking over this very short document that we have before us?
Well, there's a crushing irony here because the two counts involve 18 U.S.C. 1001, 18 U.S.C. 1505. The first one is the very same crime that Comey made against Michael Flynn. And Comey gave speeches delighting crowds and explaining how what he did with Flynn wasn't exactly copacetic, that he just sent a couple of guys over and basically tricked him. And ultimately, they charged him on what many of us thought was a pretty thin indictment. So there is that irony. These two counts are mirror images, it appears, that they are alleging that the false statements also constituted the obstruction. But there is the interesting aspect to this is that, as you know, Laura, it's very, very hard to make out perjury cases against particularly sophisticated players like James Comey. This is a little different. Because they're just focusing on one statement, and that is, did you get someone else to leak information? That's true or false. And his aide and close associate, McCabe, said that he did order him or authorize him to make such a leak. We also know that Comey later admitted that he called a friend, which I'm presuming is Columbia professor Daniel Richman, to get information to the New York Times and to the media after he was fired. So this is a rather murky situation for Comey. He was, Comey is a careful player, but he's also a bit of a rogue operator when things get tense. He went rogue with the Clinton press conference. But he particularly went rogue when he was being fired. He removed material from the FBI. The Inspector General issued a scathing report saying that he violated the FBI rules. It did not find that he leaked classified information, but that information was FBI information he should never have removed. And then he himself admitted that he called up a friend to leak some information to the media. Now, that doesn't actually give him a pristine appearance. It suggests a foundation for this type of charge. None of us are happy about seeing political opponents charged. And so this case is going to remain controversial. The president truly despises this individual, and it appears to be a mutual feeling. But when you look at the charge itself, it is different from what some people might have thought. It's going to come down to whether Jim Comey is a leaker and a liar.
Did he or didn't he? Did he or didn't he? And did he have the willful intent, which I think going to that point, and there are two different issues here. He passed information off to his buddy at Columbia, Richmond, who was his old colleague, and then Richmond gave it to Michael Schmidt at the New York Times, and Michael Schmidt then would shape the coverage of this Russia collusion story with that information. Now, that in and of itself demonstrates what, Jonathan? That the FBI director was intimately involved in trying to guide the media to report the situation as he saw it, when that information presumably should not have been released under any circumstances.
Yeah, I'm actually not certain as to what is more unnerving for people in Washington. The fact that a political opponent of the president was indicted, which you can have legitimate concerns about, or whether more likely it's someone's being prosecuted for a leak. I mean, this city floats on a rolling sea of leaks. And, Comey and the FBI have been accused of leaking information when it serves their purpose. But this is something that occurs often in Washington. It's done with lethal effect. So I think that many people might find it even more unnerving that this is pretty much a leak prosecution. It's false statements, but it's really all about a leak.
And Jonathan, the president, I think we have the soundbite today in the Oval Office. There was a lot going on, executive orders. We had Erdogan's visit, but the president addressed this then potential indictment of James Comey. And this was Truth Social. He just actually posted this. Justice in America, one of the worst human beings this country has ever been exposed to is James Comey, the former corrupt head of the FBI. Today, he was indicted by a grand jury on 2 felony counts for various illegal and unlawful acts. He's been so bad for our country for so long. It is now at the beginning of being held responsible for his crimes against our nation. Make America great again. Well, that's President Trump. That was not what I was going to play, but that just came out, so we decided to read that off. Well, look, everyone knows President Trump has no use for James Comey, and Comey really did enormous damage to the United States and to the public's trust in the FBI over the years, and wanted Donald Trump in prison for something that was totally false, and has never apologized for it, has never shown any remorse for it, and said, in fact, he did everything basically, with good faith and, in his view, by the book.
Well, in fact, he wrote a book on ethical leadership that portrayed himself as sort of the ultimate model of ethical leadership. Many of us disagreed with that. I've been a critic of Comey for a long time. We have to see what evidence there still is here. There's legitimate grounds for concern for people about a political opponent. But this is a very direct and focused indictment, and somebody is lying.
It's not a sprawling indictment. It's very, very specific, which I think is a lot smarter than doing any kind of long, windy indictment. Jonathan, thank you very much.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.